And this was clear in 1999 when the Israeli public simply voted Netanyahu out of office and gave Ehud Barak the premiership. The idea, and Ehud Barak said, I'm going to negotiate peace, and that's what he tried to do. Ehud Barak tried also to advance on both tracks. He negotiated with the Syrians, more or less taking up where Rabin and Peres had left off. He was willing as well to give up the Golan Heights, or if you like, 99.99% of the Golan Heights. There was an argument about whether Israel should withdraw back to the international border, which had been settled between France and Britain in 1923, and which had been re-endorsed by the United Nations in the armistice agreements of 1949. In other words, that was the international border, or whether Israel should withdraw to the lines of June 4th. In other words, the lines in which the two armies faced each other, or the two states faced each other just before the Six-Day War. There was a difference between the international border and the June 4th lines, in the sense that the Syrians had taken some territory from Israel, or from the demilitarized zone and Israel, during the interim between 1949 and 1967. We're talking about very, very small pieces of territory, but they were important, especially the strip of land along the northeastern shore of the Sea of Galilee. That's the main difference between the June 4th lines and the international border of 1923. The international border of 1923 left the shoreline to a depth of 10 meters from the lake, to a depth of 10 meters inside Palestine. That was part of Palestine. In other words, the whole of the Sea of Galilee was part of Palestine, belonged to Palestine. The June 4th borders left the Syrian army, had the Syrian army along that northeastern shore, because they occupied that area in 1949, 1950, if you like, contrary to international law. But that is what had happened, and that's what the Syrians wanted to go back to. They wanted to sit on the lake and be able, in fact, de facto at least, to own part of the lake. And this was a small argument. We're talking about several hundred square meters, basically, or 1 square kilometer or something like that. But this was an argument between Barak and the Syrians in 1999-2000. And Barak seemed to agree to the idea of the Syrians sitting on the lake, and then withdrew his agreement and decided there wasn't any reason for it. He proposed that the area become, this strip of territory, become an international park, not under sovereignty of either Israel or Syria. The Syrians either disagreed or hedged about this subject, and in the end Barak also withdrew the proposal. Apparently, it's not completely clear what happened in the negotiation, and the Syrians said no. But basically what was happening was that the Syrians were being offered 99.99% of the Golan Heights, and said no. This is the simple bottom line of the Syrian-Israeli negotiation under Barak, during the Barak years.